You know, it's finally time. We're about to just let her rip, man. Full send it.
That was fast, man.
There you go.
Hello you guys, welcome to my channel. On today's video, we're gonna be building a test bench for the accessory components of the motorcycle. One was to gather all the components such as the M unit, as you guys see here, the headlight that has everything integrated on turn signals and low beam and high beam, and switches and cables that I was gonna use, right? For switches, I'm using the toggle switch and I'm using a momentary switch. So I gathered everything. Step 2, I started taking measurements and so I can have an idea of how much space I was gonna take with the build of the test bench. And then I realized that I had so many switches and I didn't want them just to be laying on the table, so I decided to make a housing. For the housing, I took some steps. The first step that I took in order to do this was to gather all the measurements for all the switches and all the components that I was gonna put on the housing, add it up, and then think about like how much space I was gonna put between the switches. So I add that to the total, and then I just built a regular rectangular box on SolidWorks. Here's the video of the N8A8 printing this part. Then for step 2 of the build, I went and soldered all the switches, and the good thing about the switches is that they all use ground to send signal to the M unit. So I put common ground through all the switches and make some lead that goes to the M unit. Step 3, I went and started wiring the M unit to the switches, and then from the M unit to the headlight. Anyway, so it was pretty straightforward procedure. It was just to follow what the instruction says and some factors I had to take in account once I built this electric system. I'm gonna cut to the clip of this setup. Alright guys, so this is the test bench. At the beginning we had the 3D part housing all the switches. We got the 12-volt battery, the M unit, and we have the headlights. Let's run through the quick procedure on how to turn it on. The housing here, this housing, the first switch is to turn on the electric motor. Since we don't have the electric motor here, this is not hooked up to anything, so it's just like a dummy. Then we have the starter, the starter key right here, and then we have an auxiliary. This auxiliary, we're gonna use it as the brake system, right and left turn signal, horn, and high and low beam, and brake. Anyway, so these are the switches. So we turn on the switch, ignition switch is on, M unit has power. We're gonna give a quick passing light so it can turn on the headlight. So now the headlight is on. If we press the right turn signal, the right turn signal is gonna be displaying. If we press the left turn signal, the left turn signal is displaying. This M unit also has a feature that if we press both at the same time, it's gonna turn on the hazard. Let me turn that off. And then we're gonna have a horn. We know that we don't have a horn, but it's actually displaying it on the M unit. Then we're following off by the high beam and low beam. This M unit has a feature that has the passing courtesy flash. So if you're driving on the road and the person ahead of you is driving under the speed limit, you can just like tap the button and it's just gonna flash the person so it can get out of your way and you can continue on the road at speed limit, right? And then here we got the braking. Because there were some logistical issues because of the coronavirus, we don't have the tail light to display it, but it works. To turn on, it will be the same procedure. Turn off the M unit and it turns the whole thing off. In the past, we also make another test bench, which was the test bench that we use for the electric motor.
Here is 10 kilowatts nominal, 20 kilowatt max. It's a DC brushless motor, and cost us a pretty penny. Where's our total? Erica?
I don't think we can disclose it because they gave us a deal.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. That's fair.
It's from Golden Motors. I can tell you guys that.
Yeah.
As you guys see it here, it's a Golden Motor. That's a controller. Well, literally, that was the only Hall effect throttle that we found. Just 0 to 5 volts. Typically, they have a potentiometer. This is the Clubman handlebar.
You ready to unbox this bad boy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah, this is the Anderson 50 amp connector. It's great.
Looking at 48 volts, the capacity of 20 amp hours. To get us enough to do testing and get around and see, design the rest of the bike until we get our big battery pack. So our goal for today is to get a couple connections together and see if we can power the motor and controller and use the Hall sensor to get a little throttle action. You know what I mean?
Ivan is gonna hold the camera.
All right, let me hold it.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Okay, is it on?
Is it on? See what I mean?
Oh, it's spinning. It's spinning.
It's spinning. Okay.
Check the temperature of the wire, Ferry, and the battery. That would be great if I show you guys when we were working at UDC and we were building the housing and the electric motor, etc., etc. So here's a clip.
Today is Monday, Martin Luther King's Day in Washington, D.C. We're here working on our senior project with the boys in the machine shop. Here's our bike that we're working on. So far, things are looking good. We're working on our new engine mount or motor mount since we're using electric. Victor is currently welding on spots that we're going to use to mount this new motor frame onto the actual bike's frame here. So got a little bit more to go, but a long way to this project is way over. And also, while we're here, we're sanding this down, getting all this paint off and all the rest. Working at these weird kinks and these weird turns right now, and it's going to take some time. Things are looking clean. We got a lot to work on.
This hole, these anchors, and then drill the holes. We can remove it. So yeah, that's just a placeholder for now.
All right.
Getting into the shape now of a motorcycle, and then we're thinking on actually going for this color and just apply clear coat.
Right.
So the whole thing we cover at the VIN number, so you guys want to steal the frame for us.
That's looking good. They're reminding us of like the Mercedes silver or the Aston Martin silver.
Right.
You know, that's like $15,000 for that paint job.
Yeah. It's only gonna cost us like a couple hours of work.
A couple hours of work.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, bud.
Thank you.
Man, that's fine. Oh man.
Anyway, so let us know what you guys think we should build next, and thank you. I really appreciate it, and don't forget to give us thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Bye.
We're how many weeks into the senior project are we? What's it, week 4, week 3? I think we're looking pretty good. We're going to finish this semester strong. How you feeling, man? Are you okay, Victor?
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that I went almost 10 miles an hour in a freaking hallway.
In a hallway, dog.